twos and threes, they are going to be doing a bear crawl. So 1 foot and 1 hand on each, and crawl up, and then they're going to roll down. 2-year-olds will just roll down, 3-year-olds will end in that straddle. And not worrying about where their hands go, we're just trying to get their feet in the right spot when they hit that. Skunk in the tent, our lesson plan. With our 5-year-olds, we're going to start in the floor. On this one, they're going to go to a crab walk or a tabletop, and they're going to walk up the beds. Woo! See, I'm struggling. When they get to the top, they're going to go up into a straddle, and then roll down the hill. I'm not going to do that. When they get to the end and they roll down the hill, they are going to end in straddle and then push up off their bums off the ground. If the pushing up off their bums is too hard, they just go and they will lean forward. Okay? For our 2-year-olds on our river stepping stones, we are going to be doing our dynamic balance, but with hand-eye coordination. So when they get to a teddy bear, they're going to use our little stick because we don't want to get bitten by the bears and knock them off their little stones. Each one, knock them off, and then a nice to-go finish.
Go ahead.
Okay, for our 3-year-olds on here, we are just, on our stepping stones, we're gonna touch the teddy bears when we go from each stone. Try not to get bit by the bears, and all the way through our river stones to the very end with a nice to-go finish. 5-year-olds on our river walks, we are going to be going, we're gonna do a passe stand, and then they will kick the teddy bears and step. Passe, step, if there's not a teddy bear there. Passe, kick, okay? Okay, for our 2s and our 3s, we are just jumping from mountain to mountain. 2-year-olds, however they get there. 3-year-olds, we're gonna introduce the arm swing. So we're gonna bend with both of our legs and our arms are gonna go back. And when we jump, we're gonna swing our arms out to help us jump to the next mountain. All right, so on our mountain climbers for our 4-year-olds, they are gonna be doing donkey kicks. So hands here, they push up, and they are trying to get their feet above their bum. So this is not above the bum, above the bum. Feet up high. They'll put their hands and they'll do a squat jump on and climb over and do the same thing here. Donkey kick up, squat jump on, and climb over. Good. All right, for our 5-year-olds on our mountain climbs, we are going to be doing, they'll start here and they will start in their lunge. Their hands are going to come down and they're going to kick their feet up like they're kicking up into a handstand. Obviously, if going this far is off the ground is easy, we go higher. So we go down, we kick up, we come down. They're going to jump. Ooh, that was shaky. And they're going to come and do the same thing on this one. We go down, we kick up, and we jump up and down. And then they will come to this side and they'll do it back together. On the 4-year-olds, they won't be in that full up leg position. So their legs will be flying over the back and they'll just be on their elbows and they're rocking back and forth. So this will be a little less intense for them, but it's still using those ab muscles to lean forward. All right, welcome to our canoe rocks. We are going to put our feet here for our 5-year-olds and hands here, and they are going to keep into this nice V position, and they're going to rock it back and forth, back and forth. So obviously we're not rocking too much because we don't want to go flying head over head. There are little stoppers so they don't go flying too far. If you need bigger ones, we have bigger mats, so if they can't control themselves. But the point of this one is to be able to use those abs to be able to control that motion forward and backwards so they are not flying. Okay, cartwheels for our 5-year-olds. Obviously, if they are not needing the mat, we take the mat away. For my purposes, I will because I'm too big. Okay, so they start in lunge, hands out front, and we can follow the hands and feet on this mat. Obviously, my lunge is a little bit bigger, but we are looking to get our feet up and above the caterpillars. These are not caterpillars anymore, they're butterflies. So we don't kick our butterflies in the meadow. So we go up, we kick over, and we land in a lunge. Okay, obviously with our 5-year-olds, we are trying to get them to land foot-foot. If we can land just on 2 feet, that's great, but then we encourage to go foot-foot in that landing. This is a great spotting station to be at if they're not getting their feet high enough that we can stop them in the middle and help them get those feet high enough so that they can see the difference that we need to clear the butterflies and not knock high bar. For our 2-year-olds, they are going to be holding on to the bar and they're going to bring their knees up into a tuck. They're going to hold here as long as they can or want to, and then they are going to drop into. They can climb up onto the mat. Here we're gonna be starting with our swing. So again, their legs are gonna stay together. They're gonna hold on to the bar. And then we are just gonna be doing swings. I'm really too big. So swings on the bar. And then when they are ready, they drop into the pit. Okay, for our 4s and our 5-year-olds, we have our nice logs for our fire. So they're gonna hold on and they are gonna grab these with their feet and then swing and put them into the fire, okay? They'll come back and stop here, grab another one. When they're all done, those for 4-year-olds, they're then going to keep into a pike when they swing, and they're gonna land into the pit in a pike. Here, again, they gotta build the fire by putting the logs into the fire. And now when they swing, we're still gonna have those nice, good pike swings. On their last swing, we're gonna try to get them to get a little bit further out so their bum goes a little bit farther, and they are going to land in a nice straight body position. So legs are tight, knees are touching, arms up high. And if that is really easy for them, the next thing they will do is try not to touch back onto the mat when they're collecting their firewood, that they're trying to do it consecutively, or because that mat doesn't very much collect firewood very well, they can just do the one and then see if they can do 3 swings and then land without touching. They're gonna start on this mat, and then they'll hold on here, and they'll push 1 foot up and 1 push up, and then they'll just jump down. They can then come down to this mat where they can play our fishing game. They can catch a fish, and then they can tell you what color it is. On this mat, they're gonna go up to their feet, and then they are gonna shimmy across to where at the end they'll jump down, and then they will go fishing. They can tell you what color they caught, how many they catch. 4-year-olds on this mat, on here, we're going to be hanging arms on the tall bar and feet on the low bar, and then we're going to be shimmying across, put our feet down, and we can go fishing. Girls, again, high bar with their hands, low bar with their feet. They're gonna go across. If this is too easy, we can see if they can hold themselves up a little bit more on the arm hang. When they get to the end, they pull up and then go down. If that's too easy, when they get to the end, and they can jump up and try to release that bar and catch it again. On our mat here, they're just gonna be climbing up the stairs, and then they are gonna be doing a nice push up to be able to peek through the tent and tell you what they see in the 3-year-olds. We're gonna turn this mat around to encourage them not to use this one, because I want them to be able to add that extra oomph, that push, maybe a little jump to get up to front support, and hang here in front support and tell you what they see. 4-year-olds, you can use the little mat if they need to be able to, but we are trying to encourage them to be able to go from standing to jumping up to that front support. When they get here, they can look to see what's in the tent, and then with their legs together, they are gonna swing them back, and they can push off. Again, we're jumping up. They should not need a mat when they're 5. They should be able to jump from standing to that front support. They're gonna glue their feet together, look through the tent, and this time when they swing their feet back, they are going to be trying to push their hips off the bar. So 1, 2, and then a big swing to see how far back. Okay, on our stations, we have a little less stations so we can add more doubling up, partnering up. But if we need an extra station, we have this one where the kids can sit on these little knobs or stand on them and swing. River rafting. Their moms can help them, and they will use their hands and their feet, and their moms can help them by pushing on this. And they are just gathering rocks. As they come down, they can do one at a time or collect all of them and push them down and put them into the bucket. For our 3-year-olds, of course, they're gonna be doing this by themselves, but the same motion where they need to use their feet and their hands. This is a bilateral movement where both hands and both feet are doing the same thing, bilateral coordination. So again, hands and feet, they push and pull at the same time. Collect the river rocks and put them into the back end. So our 4-year-olds, they are going to try not using their feet, so they can sit in Indian style and just use their hands to try, or they can put them out in front of them, but we're trying not to let them use their legs, so they shouldn't be pulling with their legs. It should just be an arm movement of pulling with their legs. Now our 5-year-olds are going to be switching to their tummies, like so, and they are going to be again collecting and pulling forward with their arms, collecting those river rocks and those turtles and putting them into the bucket. 2-year-olds, they are going to be balancing a duck in their frisbee. They're going to take their rescue duck over here and leave it in its pond. On the next one, they are going to be doing marches. So they're going to hold their frog in their hand and they're going to bring it up to their knees to be able to make the froggy bounce and leave him in his pond. We're going to come over here, and on this one, we're going to be doing big steps. So big steps over the frogs, and then ta-da, hops down at the end. And then our next one, we're going to be kicking alligators. So they can hold mom's hand and do this, or if they want to do it on their own, hands on the hips, and they're just going to be kicking their feet up to kick those bad alligators out of the river. And you can stop there now. For our 3-year-olds, again, they're going to be balancing their duck in their rescue pond, and they are going to go up onto their releves, so their tippy toes, and they're going to walk across and leave the ducky in the pond here. On the next one, they are actually going to need their frisbee. So they're going to take their duck in a frisbee. So now when they march, they are going to be hitting the frisbee so they can get a little bit more powerful in their steps. So up and make that froggy hop. And for our 3-year-olds, we're going to come over to this one, and now our feet are going to be together, and we're going to be doing hops over our frogs, and we're going to jump to straddle. And then here, we're going to have our arms out in second, and we're going to be kicking our alligators across the river. We are going to be having our, say, duck above our head this time, and we're going to be walking through the icky waters and our tippy toes and our releves. And then we get to the end, and we're going to walk backwards in our releves and down. And on our frogs, this time our frogs are going to be on our balance beam. So when they get to a frog, they are going to raise their little elevator toes up to their knee and step over. And elevator toe, up to knee, step over. All the way to the end. And now on these ones, we're going to be jumping. We're going to add that arm swing in. So with these guys, we're not adding a whole lot of power, and we're just trying to get the arm swing movement up. So as they jump, their arms are going to come up and down, and land in a freeze. And now on our kicks, for our 4-year-olds, we are going to be doing a little bit, we're adding that pointed toe. So it's not just a kick, it's a very controlled kick. So hands in second, and our toes come up, a nice point, and come down. So we're not just, okay, we are actually controlling that kick step with a pointed toe. All right, for 5-year-olds, our ducks are going to go above our head. We're going to step in our releves across the beam. This time we're going to bring our duck down, squat, and then we got to go rescue the other ducks. We got to go back and get them. And then on our frog beam with our passes, our arms are going to be going out in second so that we can get the nice balance while we're in there too. So again, we're going to come up and we're going to pause in our passe for 3, 2, 1, and pointy toe, step, and bring it up. 3, 2, 1, pointy toe, and step. Okay, and now on our frogs, with our hops, we're going to be getting a nice big powerful hop. So we want to see if we can, how far we can go. So we're going to start with a bent knee back, and we're going to push our hands, and when we come up, we jump, and we land and freeze. So push them back, swing them up, land and freeze. And then we straddle jump at the end. For our 5-year-olds with our straddle jump, we are going to be starting to try to get the straddle and then bring them back to the middle. So we're not landing in straddle, so we go up and then together with our 5-year-olds. And then on our last one, we are going to, again, have our hands out in second, our nice pointy toes, but we're gonna pause here for 3, 2, 1, step. Swing it up, 3, 2, 1, step. All the way to the end with a nice ta-da finish.